What's up guys, Creighton here from CameraGazer.com. Today we're going to be looking at one of the Mac daddy of all lenses, the Canon EF 70-200 f2.8L IS2 lens. There's something about owning a 70-200 lens that has this distinct white color, as being in the elite of the elite. Of course, you can buy your way into it, but it has its reasons when you look at the price of the lens and the quality that you're getting out of it. This lens has everything from IS, f2.8. It has stabilizations that I can't even comprehend to go far enough into to explain, but all I know is that it gives you 4 stops of added usability handheld, which is very nice, of course, when you're not so steady-handed like me when you're up on very slippery mud and trying to take photos. So it's a very elite lens. It's made out of metal. It is solid. It is heavy, but with that heavy comes very astounding build quality. It has a nice metal foot on it to use on a tripod, and of course handheld. I find myself hand holding it like this most of the time. Overall, is an amazing lens that anybody who is looking to advance in their photography needs, this is the lens that you need. The image quality of this lens is nothing short of spectacular. It is an amazing lens to shoot with, has great quality images, has very little vignetting and very little flare. And that's due in part to this gigantic lens hood. It is there for a very good reason, to help with all of that flare. And if you can see here, if I take it off, it is a very big tulip hood. And that's for, of course, one reason, of course, is because it's a very long range lens. You're not going to be getting very close to it. You're going to be getting very far away. It has a minimum focusing distance of, I think, 1.2 meters. So you're going to be pretty far away when you use this camera. So again, quality, spectacular, very great image quality. You're not going to regret anything if you get this lens. When shooting with this lens, you're going to see that it's great at everything it does when you shoot it. You can get nice blurred out backgrounds, great foregrounds as well. It does spectacular at image quality when it comes to blurring backgrounds, getting foregrounds in focus. And that's what makes this lens a very good lens if you're doing portrait photography. This is the prime lens to use for portrait photography. Although it's not a prime lens, prime lenses do offer a little bit better quality of images, but if you're looking for a typical zoom and you want to use it for portraits, 70-200, great lens for that as well. Now, if you're trying to be inconspicuous about using this lens, good luck. If you're out in public, it just screams photographer. And when it screams photographer, it doesn't just scream photographer, it screams sports photographer. You see all of them down there on the sidelines, right? White lenses just like this. Well, it's great for isolating subjects, great fast autofocus. It is a must-have for also sports photographers as well, with, of course, a fast camera like a 5D Mark III, like a 7D, like a 1D. It's great if you have the right camera behind it. I can't find anything that compares even relatively closely to the 70-200 2.82. It's a great lens overall, amazing build quality, takes spectacular photos, autofocus is amazing. I could just go on and on about the good, because this is a generally very good camera. And lens, of course, lens, not camera, but lens. And it's great for anything from sports photography, portrait photography. I mean, you can take this around town, but are you really going to want to use something this big when shooting around town, especially this white as well? But overall, it's a great lens. Definitely worth a check out if you're really serious into photography and want to get a professional lens that can do portraits, that can do close-ups. This is the lens to get that job done. All right, now let's talk about the pros, the cons, and my conclusion. Pros, well, as I referenced my notes here, the telephoto is very, very useful. It has a wide range of focal lengths and is great for anybody. It has great image stabilization as well. gives you 4 stops, like I said, of added stability, which is fantastic, making handheld images very, very clear. It has amazing autofocus. Don't get me wrong, this lens is made for autofocus, especially in sports photographies, better cameras. You'll be getting nice, crisp shots. It has a huge quality jump over these other 70-200s that came before it. It is the telephoto lens to have if you need a telephoto lens and you need something that will get the job done and more. Now, of course, let's talk about the cons. It is the most expensive lens in its class. It is almost $2,500, $500 for a lens. But the flip side of that is that you are paying for outstanding quality. It is very heavy. It is a very heavy lens. And with something like a T2i on the front, it makes it very front heavy. If you have something like the 5D Mark III or a 1DX, well, then it's going to be better balanced, but it is still a very heavy lens. The lens cap, you can't really take it off if the lens hood is on. It's very cumbersome, and you end up having to take off the lens hood to put the lens cap on. That's one of those small things that can get on your nerves sometimes, but not something that's going to affect overall quality. And let's talk about its white nature. It is super obvious. If you carry this lens around anywhere, people are going to probably know that you're either a creeper or you're trying to take photos and you're not being very inconspicuous at all. It is a very standout lens. Again, like I said, you can pick it up for around, $2,200-$2,300. The most I've seen it for right now is $2,500. Of course, that price is coming down month after month in anticipation for maybe a new one, but they don't generally release new ones every year. They generally have a huge gap in time. So this is what you're probably going to be stuck with for a very long time. So in my opinion, go ahead, drop the money now. You're going to be getting your money's worth out of it no matter what. That does it for me. The decision is all up to you whether you need a 70-200 lens and you're willing to put down that money, but again, great overall image quality. If you have any questions for me, email me, Creighton@cameragazer.com. You can follow our social media profiles on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, all under the username of CameraGazer. And of course, if you have any questions and you'd like to ask the community, go to forums.cameragazer.com. And of course, for our full write-up, go to cameragazer.com. You'll find this lens review and others just like it on our growing blog every day. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and until our next video, we'll see you guys later.